There are a couple ways you could definitely build this champ to get a little creative in arena and possibly help you out even more if you're already using them. What's going on YouTube? H-Dub here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in this video we're going to be spotlighting Ultimate Death Knight. Now Ultimate Death Knight was a free champ, so everyone who's currently playing the game or has been playing the game for the last few months or so should have him on their account. Now before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Blazin, who has been creating a lot of YouTube content lately for Raid Shadow Legends. He's in the Sacred Panda cluster and is very knowledgeable about the game. He's also doing a free daily gem pack giveaway. If you subscribe to the channel, for every 100 subs, he's going to give away a free daily gem pack up to 1,000 subscribers. He's currently 39 subscribers away from the first daily gem pack giveaway. So guys, let's go over and show him some love. Subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything but a moment and a click. So I'll put a link in the description below to his channel so you can go ahead and show that man some love. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into Ultimate Death Knight. As you all know, he has an amazing kit, a lot of damage mitigation in arena. He can help to keep you alive, absolutely slows down single target nukers. So let's quickly go over his kit. I don't want to spend too much time on it because you probably already know what it is. Attacks one enemy, 30% chance to place a provoke. You can book it up to 50% chance. This chance increases to 55% against legendary champions. So that will be 75% against legendary champions. A2 attacks all enemies, has an 80% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Also has an 80% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn on each legendary champion. You can book this up to a 100% chance on a 3-turn cooldown. His A3 places a shield buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield is proportional to this champion's defense. So if you build them with high defense, that shield is going to be fat. You know, kind of like how that Valk shield is proportional to her defense and that shield be fat. Now his passive, whenever an ally is attacked, has a 100% chance of completely blocking 1 hit, decreasing the incoming damage to 0. This champion will receive that damage instead. It will also redirect any debuffs from the hit to this champion. The chance of blocking a hit and redirecting the debuffs decreases to 50% if the attacker is a boss. Does not work if the attack on the ally was an AoE attack. Whenever an enemy is healed, heals this champion by 20% of that heal. This is probably one of the most broken parts of his passive here is that heal. Oh my god, he is annoying. So bring in someone who is either strong affinity or same affinity as him, because if you're trying to kill him with someone who's negative affinity with a team that is constantly healing, he is almost never gonna die. The bug that was going on with him at the, when he first dropped, where like he just wouldn't die, like that was so annoying. So still OP as a passive. His second passive increases this champion's HP, defense, and speed by 10% for each dead ally. So once he is, standing one man alone, everybody else is hand down, man down. Ultimate Death Knight is going to be keeping the ball rolling. Now, mine is not booked. I have not felt the need to book him. I don't think you really should invest books in this champion over another. Granted, there are benefits to booking him, like getting these cooldowns down, like getting your debuff chance increased, but we are primarily using him to mitigate damage with the resist build. Mine also does not have full masteries. I've been slowly farming masteries on him and minnow just because I know they will help, but I don't feel like I even need it. I'll go down and get more resist or accuracy depending on how I want to use him. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is there are multiple builds that we can use on this champion to be effective in arena. The primary one obviously is going to be the resist build that most players in the player base are using. Most people in the community are using him in a 2-turn stone skin build with decent resist. As you can see, this is the gear that I currently have on my UDK when I decide to just slap him in. 70k HP, 3.8k defense. I should probably prioritize defense for the shield, but I have not. 170 speed is way too fast. I should probably try to slow him down, but I've not been successful doing that. I haven't gone out my way to do it either. And we have 603 resist. This is just what I was able to get on him with my initial build. But this is not the only way that you can build this champion. And I'm sure you know what he does in this build. Granted, mine is not booked. 30% chance is still a solid chance to place a provoke. It is not an amazing chance. Obviously booked on legendary champions, which will predominantly be going up against legendary champions with him, because I'm in G5, and most of you are probably, you know, in tiers where people are using mostly legendary champions. Even if you are on a newer account, there's a lot of people using legendary champions in the early game. So you'll have a 55% chance on booked. That is still great. It is better than the provoke set. Now, the second way that you can build UDK is in accuracy double stone skin set. Now, there are other sets that you can build him in, such as bolster if you did get the forge pass, or if you got good enough bolster from that little bit that you get from just doing the without the gold tier forge pass. If you got something decent you can put on him, that could work as well depending on the team. But I strongly advise, if you have been at least doing Hydra normal, to put him in full stone skin with high resist or accuracy. Now, this is the second build here, and I modified the masteries to get a little more accuracy on him. I should have went with something different here. We could take deterrence, which will give him an extra chance to counterattack when someone is trying to play sleep. He is in a very slow build, so he is generally going to be under the threshold for Siffy sleep. So great to counter Siffys with, depending on you know, just when he's going. But he's generally going to be under that threshold, that turn meter threshold that you need to be at for her sleep to be unresistible. You can also take this for an extra chance to counterattack. I had a counterattack accessory on him. I have tested this build. I will not show those runs because in the team that I had him in, it was a very solid stall team. And you can try it out on your own. But basically the comp was just an ultimate Death Knight, a Mithrala to cleanse him because he doesn't really have any resist. So she's coming in, she's cleansing anything that gets placed on him. And he is just going in, provoking champions, keeping them provoked, keeping the fight prolonged. I also had a lockout champion in there, so I did run a warlord. You can also run a basher. You can also run other champs to place block cooldown skills, block passive skills. If you've gotten your Ramontu already, if you have leveled up your Rhonda and are using your Rhonda, she doesn't need accuracy to place block cooldown skills. There's a ton of champs that place block cooldown skills. You can look them up on Gestal.gg. You can look them up on Ayumi Love. You can look them up on Hell Hades, whatever site you like. There's plenty of champs out there who can place block cooldown skills. So that'll help you to lock out the other team as well. And I just had a turn meter boost champ. I was running Siffy. You can run your Arbiter if you have your Arbiter. There are other champs. You can run Lady Kimmy. Anybody you want, or you can go full stone skin team with UDK redirecting, counterattacking. So if you're going up against a Siffy team, if you're going up against a Rhodos, anybody with a Rhodos, anybody with a Kymar, if you have Kymar trying to play sleep, he's going to be able to have that extra chance to counterattack with this mastery, and he is going to be able to go ahead and keep that Kymar provoked every time that he tries to sleep. Granted, he doesn't go to sleep, so if his stone skin does not break, right? Because what's going to happen is, if you're going against a Kymar team, chances are, if it's a fast Kymar, they're going to try to sleep first. He doesn't have a lot of resist, so there is a chance that he does get stripped, but it's only a 50% chance anyway with stone skin, right? Whoops, whoops, whoops. That's moving slow. Yeah, so you only have a 50% chance of blocking removals or steals. So Kymar's only going to have about a 50% chance either way to strip him. If he does not strip him, we have a huge chance with deterrence, with the deterrence mastery, to counterattack, keep that Kymar provoked. That Kymar will not use his reset the next skill, and the champions on the opposite team are not going to get a chance to reset their skills, especially if you're using him against a single target nuker. They're not going to get a chance to come back around, even though he's going to be redirecting them anyway. So this is just another fun way that you can use him if you want to build him with some accuracy. I'm not saying he even needs this much accuracy to get the job done, but I did place a decent amount on him for my testing, and he was provoking a lot. We were at the top of gold 5 at the moment. Didn't get the chance to really test this out in platinum arena. Obviously, this is not enough accuracy to provoke all of the champions at platinum arena, but you will at least be able to provoke nukers and some support champions and speed turn meter boost champions. You'll be able to provoke them. You probably won't be able to provoke a Duchess with this build, but it's just some HP, decent defense. This resist is just, you know, we didn't get much from artifacts. It's just a great haul and masteries in the faction guardian. And I got as much accuracy as I could just get really quickly. But it is a fun build. It's decent for a stalled team if you're trying to build a stalled defense. If you need some help in your 3v3 arena or classic arena, anywhere pretty much, he's going to be great with this type of build. But obviously, the high resist build is what is recommended. So I encourage you to build him with high resist and as much defense as possible, with as little speed as possible, and try to get him counterattacking as much as possible so that you can counter those meta champs like Sify, like Kymars, and what have you. Obviously, any single target nukers, he's going to be able to counter them as well, especially if you have some reaction gear on him. He's going to do well against Georgette, who is going to ignore the stone skin. But if you have some decent reaction gear, you can easily counter him and any other nuker with reaction. It's just a fact. But I hope this video was a bit informative. Hope it gave you a bit more that I don't know if anybody has gone over, you know, this in depth with UDK. I don't watch many other videos. I haven't watched many videos on UDK myself. I've just been playing with him a lot, and he's an amazing champion. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Be good and be well.